Hi everybody, this is Kevin with Garrison Dental, and I'm out here in Beverly Hills, California today with Dr. Matt Nejad. And we've been doing some really fun things, shooting some video on typodonts and looking at some different techniques that he's been working really hard to perfect. And I wanted to ask him, what three things, he's, after graduation, you get out in the real world and you find out what things are really like. What are three key things that you would tell somebody just coming out of dental school right now?
It's a great question. So looking back on my practice career and the way that I went, there's a few key things that I think are very important. Number one was to follow passion and the way you want to practice, not the status quo. I had so many people telling me that the type of dentistry I do, the biomimetics, it's academic, it's not great for private practice, but I found that I did it. At some point I was making less money because of it, but over time I was able to raise my fees and attract the right type of patients. And I think time and time again I've seen that if you practice the way you want and create your own market, there's even a book on this called the Blue Ocean Strategy. And the idea is that you go and you create your own market, you define yourself, you don't have to do what everyone else does. So number one is practice the way you want to practice. Number two is don't be afraid, because I opened my first practice right out of school and everyone had said things such as you need to go practice somewhere, you need to get your own experience. But what I was seeing is, my number one tip was conflicting with my number two one, which is if I didn't open my own office, I wouldn't be able to practice the way I wanted. I didn't have the opportunity to practice the way I wanted, so I had to go get my own office right out of school and start practicing that way. And for all my friends and colleagues and everyone else that said, 4 years later you'll be more, 2 years later you'll be more experienced, you'll open your practice, I saw the exact opposite. Time went on, they didn't know how to run an office, they had to start from scratch. So that was the reality was that, you only learn when you put yourself in the situation and you start doing it. Time doesn't necessarily help you learn anything about running a practice. So don't be afraid and go for it right away, or as soon as you're ready. At least don't delay it. And then my third advice is to invest heavily in your education. Take the courses you want. Dental school is a starting point, There's so many materials, techniques out there, it's overwhelming. I've read a lot of literature and I don't know everything about everything. My specialties are adhesion and biomimetic dentistry. I invested a lot in my education. I taught at USC, I followed my mentor, I've been to courses and training, I've read the literature. So invest in whatever it is you want to specialize on. If you want to be known for implants, if you want to do surgeries, spend the time and the energy, develop those skills. It's hard to be a jack of all trades, but you can definitely focus your energy into whatever you're passionate about and become a real excellent clinician. So I highly recommend taking the courses, investing in the materials, reading the papers, and getting to become an expert in your own right.
That's fantastic advice, Dr. Nejad. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.